God damn. Oh, hello. There we go. Okay, we're here. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Um, I thought my penguin overlay was broken, but it's not. It's working flawlessly, as it should. Um, Today we're continuing on. Um, oh, grid. Da, 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 da. Yay! Very nice. Very nice. Um, Wait. Is my Yeah? It's working. Okay. Um. There we go. Hello, Shiloh. What's up? I think I have like some money sounds probably, right? Right, you're just a fan? Hey, awesome. I love my fans. Um Oh, actually I need to just do this first. Um that one's fine. Assets, audio, purchase. Okay, sweet. I'm just asking myself what you do when you stream. Well, what I do when I stream is I work on games. I make games while I live stream. Right now I'm working on my game Slorb Gleeble Gumble. You like it? Hey, good. I guess the purchase source might have to be on the actual store itself. So the spell store would have a audio source and then have the purchase sound and then on click. Wait, no, that would be the Gumble itself. Okay. Wait, isn't there Generate Gumble, add Gumble. See. I'm just double checking here to see that the yeah, it's not showing the screen again. Okay, weird. Sorry about that. There we go. You guys weren't seeing my screen. So, right, because we assigned the Gumble object and then we assigned the price, and if it has a price, well then the Gumble seller sound effect would be I guess in the money manager. If we purchase something, it would technically be happening in the money manager. So the audio source should be here, and then the purchase. Which means that technically it's probably better if we remove that there. Create empty. Make like a managers. I think that's probably nicer than having it all be on the canvas. So managers. We'll make a create empty money manager. Save manager. Remove the save manager. Move course. And purchase. And do not play on awake. When you're done, are you gonna play it? I mean, I play test it, you know, as I'm working on it, but this is not like this is not a gameplay stream. It's a game development stream, so there's no guarantee about what happens. Interaction manager, or battle manager, speech, I guess. Ability runner. Managers and singleton. Okay. That one should not have. And then when we make a purchase with a money manager, that's when we want to have buy purchase and then get oh, we cannot, we should do a audio source dot play, and then audio source equals source and private audio. There we go. So that should now play the sound when we click it. A little bit of feedback. See that we don't have any other managers or something. I don't think we do. The slorbs. We can just I don't know, I kind of want to have, like right now I just teach them, see, we just, for, and then, there we go. So we just have two different colors for them. But let's think. We'll also, I think, just start by having it be the same time of day all the time for now. So Gumblegobs, you go to the store. We need to, let's go to the Miro board. And we're gonna be, yeah, see you around, dude. Okay. Um, so let's start off by making a Gumble section. Gumbles. Front. Set the color to something more like that. So, Gumble ranking system. So like icon generation. What else do we need? So Gumble ranking, icon generation. We have the ability tagger. Tag on toggle between known and unknown date after first use. Sound effect. I think we want to have like the suicide Gumble. I like the idea of a clone Gumble. I think that's fun. What else? What else? Yeah, that's the one. Just add this and we'll see. Clone gum. Yeah, that's funny. Double clone gumbo. What else? I guess. Casting effects. Casting sound effects and damage sound effects. You can add in a little icon for that. Sound. Go. Clone Gumble, Suicide Gumble. Improve particle effect. What else? What else? What else? Gumble compendium sorting, I guess, is. Hello, V38 Armageddon. What's up with you? What other effects would be fun? I think like knock back effect. Hey, hello, CCM. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just working through this cough. This lasting cough I've had. I was sick like over a week ago. I got sick. I was sick for like 2 days, and then I've had this lasting cough just since. But right now, beyond being sick, I'm trying to structure a little bit for the project Slorb Gleeble Gumble. And I'm just working on a task list so I know what I need to do, because I've just sort of laid the foundation for the gameplay, which is being able to speak and teach your Gumbles the spells. Gumble speaking animations. Well, I think this is not, this is more Slorb related. So we'll add another part here and call it the Slorb. Because this is more Slorb related. And then this page up. I don't know if I have page up. Their Gumble speaking animation. So as they speak it, there should be like a specific animation. Fix death animation, because that one's kind of janky. They're like rolling around and stuff. I think their AI is probably generally fine. Arena battle system. So that one's not figured out yet. And that's sort of like a quite important one. So we'll add a little exclamation mark, I think, to that one. There we go. What are other fun? I guess burn effect. And same goes for like freeze effect, stun effect. These are all effects we need to implement. And I think honestly we could probably group these up. We should probably lock this. There we go. So and we'll make a little section within the Gumbles for like effects. I think clone is an effect. Or is it a deliver? It's clone delivery, I guess. Could you do a fire clone? It would be an exclusive effect, I guess. But I mean, you could probably, if it's a delivery, it would just, I guess it would be a delivery because you could potentially have one that clones you and creates an AoE. So we'll have like effects and delivery, and then you'll set like the allowed types for the cloning, which is none. Deliveries, and move that there, page up. Clone delivery. Lock. And suicide is also a delivery because you could technically have that. I mean, it's an exclusive effect, really, and or that would be an effect, suicide effect, because that would be potentially a side effect. You could have an AoE that suicides you. But cloning is definitely a delivery. Let's see. So what effects? I guess slime effect is also like what does slime do, you know? It sort of makes you scare effect. What else? What else? I guess healing effect is something we have to consider. But the thing is that healing as a parameter is really just the damage. Damage for healing means that it's reversed. If it's a healing effect, it would reverse damage, and it would only affect teammates, I guess. I don't know. We'll leave it there because we still have to implement it. I guess wind. But those elemental damages, I guess, if we look at... So the way that the game is structured, you have deliveries and effects. Let's say I have a projectile that's wind. As far as wind is concerned, I guess it would guarantee the presence, like fire as an effect would probably only exist on fire attacks. Whereas you could technically have a stunning fire because stunning is not exclusively elemental. So I guess what we should do is make effect exclusivity I think we already do have that. So let's see, like parameters, effects, damage, right? Allowed effect types, which here, okay, we already have that. So then I think all of these are fine, because that would be like, okay, if it's a healing spell, it requires healing. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. And suicide effect can only affect deliveries such as, like, you can only have like an AoE that suicides you, or a except suicide, I mean, the thing is, effects are applied on impact. So there should be like an effect that is on cast effects, I guess. On cast effects. So like suicide would be on cast. You could have like low gravity or gravity effect. Maybe like a vine effect, but is that an effect, or is that a delivery? What am I doing? I'm making a game, but right now I'm sort of drafting up a bit of a battle plan to see exactly what I need to do to get this game up and running. I guess Slorb is Slorb purchasing. Maybe Slorb breeding. We can add a question mark to that to say that we're not really sure. So purchasing and breeding. Do you have a job? This is my job. I do this full time. Default Slorb sounds, I guess. Or just Slorb sounds. Let's see. So Slorb sounds, and then trinkets. Yeah. Which I guess should be its own category, really. Trinkets would be buy trinkets, trinket generation, trinket effects. Buy trinkets, trinket effect, trinket generation, and trinket assignment, as well as trinket storage. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can now consider maybe trying to implement the battles. I guess we need to have like a save system. Save system. So for the save system, we need Saves. Scale this up. Happen once per in-game day. So we can have like saves happen once per in-game day. Player inventory and slorb states are the only things saved. Arena and slorb states are the only things saved. So like I'm gonna change the color here. Because I guess if we limit ourselves to having one save per day, that makes the job much easier. Like we don't want to have to save the game's state like in the middle of an arena fight or something. I think that would be hell. So if we save it once per day, we're like finish the day to save your game. So that means like or saved, I guess once saves happen, saves only happen outside of arena. That would be the limiting factor. So you can't save during a fight in the arena, but you can save outside of the arena at any point in time, because that you would spawn always at your home as you enter the game. And we would save like, what slorbs do you have? What's in your inventory? I think that's a fine heuristic to abide by. Because if we start saving during arena fights, we just we screw ourselves over. I guess clone effect is not. It is a effect. You could clone AoE. And this could be self-afflicted. Self-afflicted. This is key. Self-afflicted. Because then clone effect could be self-afflicted. Scare could be self-afflicted. Slime could be. So you never know. You could have any spell that self-afflicts, sets you on fire or whatever. But then you can have a trinket where, like, when you're set on fire, you cause an explosion or something. And so you could synergize that, and you could have, like, spells that hurt your other slorbs, and you're setting your other slorb on fire, and they're, like, exploding. That could be cool. That could be cool. Okay. I guess on cast effects, but improve per effect particles. So like if it's a fire, you'd have fire particles. If it's wind, you'd have wind particles, and so on. So it changes some parameters of the actual particle system. Let's see. I think this is pretty good. Because if we have the save system, we have working gumballs, we have slorbs, and we have trinkets. Slorbs as in arena fights. I think that is sort of what the game is. And then once that's implemented, it's all about adding more and more and more effects and gumball types, making sure they're really juiced. And with that in place, I mean the game is the game, you know? We might need a little bit of a graphical overhaul, a little more quality to the graphics, but I'm just gonna check a thing. Let's see. Just a second, guys. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Mm-hmm. So just a second, I'm gonna be right back. Hold on 1 minute. All right, let's do this. Um, so, let's start with the first thing, and I guess we'll have a little active task. And then we'll fixed or implemented. Current. Soon. On back burner. Current. Soon. On back burner. Okay, so current, I would say I would want to fix this soon, I think. The death animation. Arena battle system. I think Gumball ranking system we should tackle first. And same for Gumball intensities. So those are our current tasks. And then arena battle system. So in order to have a Gumball ranking system, we'll just look over what the Gumballs have. So public bool is known. These are all public getters. We can have a public. Oh, finally. Yeah, I drafted up a little Miro board for Slor Gleeble Gumball now, so we got a little bit more structure ahead of us. So we have public bool is known. I think the public int rank, but is the rank tied to the Gumball? No, the rank would be tied to the ability itself. And public int rank. The intensity is unchanged. A fun chat system database schema. I actually hate this work. Should have left it running in Node.js. Yeah, I've been thinking about another refactor I want to do, but it's not actually a refactor in the sense that it's more like a feature addition. I'm thinking about implementing couch co-op. And in doing so, I also am thinking about switching over to the new input system to improve controller support. Basically, I went over what would be required to add couch co-op. Yeah, split screen. What would be required would be so like I mean the hacky way to do it, right? If you want to do as little refactoring as possible, you'd simulate like you'd simulate like borderless full screen basically with two instances running at the same time. Which would use like double VRAM, double RAM, double CPU, you know? That's insane. There are games that do it. I think Stardew Valley, for example, does exactly that. And you'll notice they do that because you can get like desync issues between like the server that's running between the two instances. And there's like weird artifacting as it enters the split screen setup. But the reason you'd want to do it, yeah, is because it's extremely little refactoring. I mean, it's essentially just like dedicated server, connect two clients, you're done, you know? But I want to do it for real. I'm not gonna hack it. And Penguinize is far too like RAM hungry to work that way. If it was like, yeah, a simple 2D game like Stardew Valley, then sure. But what I'd need to do couch co-op, because the reason I mentioned this in the first place is that I want to do it the with the least friction possible. And it turns out that the least friction is just not a viable is not a viable way. It just isn't. Even less so if I wanted to do it in like Penguin Springs, which is a huge game and even more RAM and CPU hungry. So like no way, Jose. But the way you would do it, right? So in Fusion, you could have they have this like the central part of the networking in Fusion is what's called the network runner. You could instantiate another network runner, which essentially locally simulates two clients under the one process. However, each network runner still has to independently simulate like their own stuff. And so that is very CPU hungry. It's also, I mean, it's like a halfway meeting between the two choices you have, which is number one is simulate one single instance and then divert inputs and messages depending on like local player index, and the other approach of simulating two fully independent clients under one like umbrella of a dedicated server. And it sort of meets halfway because you can have like a local player reference that still appears as a separate instance to the network, even though it's still running under the same umbrella process of like Penguin Heist as an instance. But that wouldn't work either, because again, it's too much CPU stuff. You're processing messages, like networking messages, twice over, and it still has to do all this local simulation, and it just ends up being a mess. So what you can do is do the full true approach, which is basically appending, like what you need to do is, first of all, every single singleton that is assumed to be player owned. So let's say, for example, you have like money, right? That's tied to the player. That's a singleton. I have some singleton references that point to like who is the local player. So like I can do penguin controller dot local player, which is a singleton reference. UI doesn't have to be super singleton. I don't have so much UI. You would have to have, because you're rendering two separate cameras, right? You would just need to hook up the right references still. So two cameras, two canvases, one canvas per camera, right? And so you need to link that to the right player indices, essentially. So every singleton reference has to be directed to I'm not making GTA right now, no. I should change the stream name. I'll just do that right now, actually. There's Lord Gleeble Gumble. And I did this for a game I was working on for a while, which was called the working title Puffin Island. That's not the actual game title, but there I basically, like, for every singleton I instantiated, it would instantiate itself in like essentially an array, right? And the local player index would always be passed to access said singletons. So they're not really singletons, you know, because there are many of them. But as far as the local player is concerned, they are essentially singletons, right? One per player. And because that's the thing, you want to be player count agnostic, but you can essentially be that if every single reference to a singleton is always like, you know, like class dot singleton, and then you'd have player index which accesses said singleton, and player index is something you would get like, you know, you'd have like you know, player index equals get like camera dot get local player index or whatever, you know? So in my game, input dot whatever our setup methods, they use an input frame on the server. Whenever we handle player simulation, it swaps out the input frame in the background. Yeah, I mean, the way that input is handled. Well, I don't have Fusion here, but yeah, I mean, you're sending the message, but because it's local prediction, you instantly get the sent inputs on the client as well. But there's a single place where input is read, essentially, and sent in the like game manager or whatever, and that's like the standardized way to do it. But essentially, I mean, you would just tag the input that is being sent with your local player index. That would be like the tag, and you would say like, is the player reading the input from its own tag, or is it reading from another tag? And because because Fusion supports any type of serialized data to be sent in a networked way, that's sort of trivial. Like just appending a little player index. So I think it shouldn't be crazy difficult. I mean, it's an entirely, you know, you have to be very thorough, and breaking points, I would assume, would be things like you would have, well, essentially all mini games, because they're very like, they're camera switching and stuff, so those are probably quite messy. Yeah. Yeah, no. So the input stuff I'm not so worried about. The input is fine. It's essentially, the problem is that every single, you know, RPC, you know, if I have an RPC that is sent to like you know, if we have an RPC, and then the targeted RPCs, like the ones sent to specific clients, these ones are scary because they assume that they are being sent to a client that has a single player. So here I have to, for all those, I have to append basically int local player index, which is also a networked variable. So there I have to do that. So So I have to, like, you know, not an integer. You'd obviously use a smaller, something like a byte, but that's a little tricky. And you have to go over every single RPC manually and ensure that they're correctly set up. But then you also have RPCs that don't have a target but exist on objects. That should be less complicated. So if they're object targeted, then that is sort of player agnostic, assuming we set up the singletons correctly, right? Because, like, well, no, I mean, the problem is that it's a host client. RPCs, I still use RPCs to simulate, like, even locally, they're still RPCs being sent. Like, I don't have separate logic structure for, like, single player. So you still need to do it. And because I do that, it would be also multiplayer. I'm not keeping it flexible. That's just how, I mean, that's how you sort of have to write. Because otherwise, I mean, if I have foo, I would have to have local foo, you know? Like, I don't maintain two. You just use the one. Like, I don't do that. You just do the one. Well, that is like, you get that for free. That is like a side effect of the fact that the game is written like this and not like this. Well, this is Penguin Heist, so it's not Slorb Gleeble Gumble. Slorb Gleeble Gumble is single player. So maybe that was the confusion. But yeah, with Penguin Heist, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I mean, so if we have like a Penguin controller, Penguin, right? You can have like RPCs that are like static or global RPCs or whatever, right? So the static ones would be the targeted ones generally, but then you can have ones that are like Penguin. If you have like a class Penguin controller, which is networked, then you would have like some RPC void. You know? And this does. Yeah, I'm literally struggling without my Vim motions. You see me doing the because then here the issue is that this calls correctly on the object, but behavior ends up incorrect because of singleton. So these are essentially the two pitfalls I have to deal with if I haven't forgotten to consider other things. It's essentially like static RPCs sent to specific connections need to be routed to local player indices. RPCs called on objects, so like, you know, we have the Penguin controller, it has some method that is an RPC. Any RPC that does not have like a target will get sent just to the network behavior itself, right? So if I have Penguin and then I just call this method Penguin, it gets sent to the Penguin. So there you don't, it's sort of like player index agnostic. But the problem is that maybe this method references some singleton. And that's where the hidden pitfalls would be. So you sort of have to track down, ensure that every singleton that exists, there are no assumptions being made that there is only one player. And for every RPC that is sent to a connection, we cannot assume that the connection is only running one player. And I think those are the 2 points, networking wise, that we have to sort of contend with. And that's sort of the big struggles. Input should be fairly easy because, again, it's just appending like a little tag, essentially, saying this should flow to this player. Like, input is no different than like an RPC, essentially. You're just sending a struct. Well, this is not two connections. This is a single connection. That's the thing. But two connections from one client is possible. You can do that. But again, that introduces CPU overhead. This is a single connection with the local player separated by way of player index. So this is essentially you know. Hello, Mr. Oakley. So this is like, you know, no audio? Wait, you don't hear me? I guess I don't have music on. But yeah, I mean, this is essentially how would that even work out with like player fires? Why couldn't I just say my co-op buddy is Steam ID, some player ID? How would you handle auth? So the idea is that if you're playing couch co-op, that would be a local save file that players could pick from, right? So that would be another thing I'd have to implement, which is multiple save profiles. Right now, there's just a single save profile. That's it. But I would have to essentially group up different save profiles. But basically, so the way it works is you as a player, right? You boot up your client. and keep in mind, host and client, it's sort of agnostic, right? You boot up your client, and then because again, when you design a couch co-op system, you have to be player count agnostic, just like you would be player count agnostic for like, you know, a host client system. So the index of the first player that connects locally is index 0. And so when they reference any singleton, they'll always do class singleton and then player index, which is 0, and so on, right? But now another your friend picks up the controller and they press start or whatever, and now split screen, you have another player whose inputs will always now be tagged with being from index 1. So we've incremented their index, because that's how we discern, right? It's depending on, you know, we can attach to whatever objects they should have authority over. Their index will be tied to it, and as well as all their inputs will be tied to their index. So like any button presses on their controller tied to their index, their penguin tied to their index, their camera tied to their index, and any new singletons will also be tied to their index. So they'll instead do class.singleton 1 to access their singletons instead of doing class.singleton 0. And the server, when sending a message to a player reference, they'll also be aware of which remote player are we sending this to. And I guess there are some RPCs that get sent to all players, so they would be like remote player index agnostic, so they wouldn't even maintain that. And then again, if we send a message to a network behavior that has like these just public RPCs, not static RPCs, we need to ensure that any sort of local simulation they execute where singletons may be accessed are routed to whatever local player index is being affected. And that's sort of it for the networking. The rest is all like UI separation, save storage, whatever. But that way, I think, I mean, the only extra CPU usage you would see would be the added cost of the input sends from the second, not client, but second player, second local index, as well as the added cost of rendering, and then whatever added cost of like just simulating the local player, whether it's like physics or whatever other local simulation that has to occur. So minimal overhead. And I think this is the way to do it. I think if you want to do it in a robust manner, built-in multiplayer support, essentially. I think that's the move. Anyway, so we're working on Gumble Gob. So Gumble ranking system. I don't think we do anything with the intensity. I mean, it's a lot of refactoring, but then also, I mean, with any sort of big overarching refactoring, especially, I think the networking part is probably quite easy. It's the singletons. That's where I think things might get messy, because I need to, like, a lot of the singletons are just sort of slapped on to a bunch of different objects. So like the canvas might have a bunch of singletons, the player might have a bunch of singletons, and I need to essentially separate those and have them be like instantiated on player connection. And that I think is less refactoring, and that's more like changing the entire system, or creating a new system from the ground up. But the networking RPC stuff is mostly just refactoring. But the singleton stuff is I think where it's gonna get messy. I remember with the Puffin game I was working on, I was building it from the ground up, and even then it was quite messy. But at least now then I was doing it with Fusion, and I was doing it this way I'm describing now, but it was also my first time using Fusion, and I was sort of struggling. So ability spec. Right, ability specs. Right, because it returns. Okay. Ability spec dot intensity equals random dot range. And then here, from the ability spec intensity, including the intensity ban. Ability generator. I think here we need to have public float min intensity equals 0.1f max intensity. So intensity span leads to a rank, so ability spec dot rank equals 5 multiplied by, and if the intensity, min intensity to max intensity is a span, then it would be the ability spec dot intensity divided by wouldn't it be that subtracted by min? Wait, what? Oh, because it's... Wait, so you'd have that, and then would be instance dot max intensity subtracted by instance dot min intensity. Was it 1 plus 4 times? I think instance dot max. We'll just do this. Var min equals instance dot min intensity. Var max rank equals instance max rank. There. You code all these by yourself? Yes. I've been coding, well, I mean, I started university in 2017, so that's... And I finished in 2023. But I was coding before then as well. So we have that leads to a rank. All right, okay. How can I learn to do this? It means I cannot do it myself. I'm in second year of my college. I mean, you just do it. I get, you know, go read a book about any programming language you want to. Java, C++, whatever. And I suggest, as a fun exercise, write a small game engine. And I'm not saying write, you know, Unreal Engine 5 or Unity. I'm saying, like, write a small game engine and have a little fun with it. Because I'm assuming you want to do game dev. And for that, I think writing your own game engine is really fun. You know, have it be able to load up audio files, load sprites. Maybe don't do 3D. I think 3D can be a bit messy. So start there. Learn some programming fundamentals. What's a method? What are parameters? Or like return values and stuff. Different types. 3D is pretty easy with OpenGL. Yeah, but if for the purpose of writing your own game engine as a complete and absolute beginner, I don't think 3D is the space you want to enter. It's easy for someone who already knows how to code, but I don't think that's a good place or interesting place to start. Yeah, no, I think, and also I don't know that, like, I mean, I guess sure, if you're a competent enough programmer and you want to get into 3D, then maybe starting there is fine. But I think for the purpose of like I mean, it's not for the purpose of like making a competent game. It's more like as a learning exercise, and for the context of a learning exercise, I would say it's probably not super difficult to use like some 3D rendering API to just get something up and running. Like, we're talking rendering cubes. and textures and moving them around, you know, not like importing fully fledged 3D models or whatever. Okay, I don't know that generating abilities. I guess if the level... Hey, appreciate it, Lunar. I'd say steer clear of the AI because it turns out that AI is actually a psyop designed by the Illuminati to hack your brain and turn you into a slave for the alien invasion. So be careful with that stuff. It's dangerous. I'm serious. Not a laughing matter. AI will eat your brain alive. It's true. That's true. That's true. Wait, let's think about this. So max rank, if the level is 0, it's just random. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up, we're gonna need to do arithmetics on this one. I'm surviving a challenge inside a box. Fingers crossed you don't. Am I right, boys? You guys know what I mean. So for an input level 1, that would mean 0, and then rank 5. But for an input rank of 5, that would mean 4. And it falls apart. So I think we also need to subtract the max rank. But in real life, I'm inside a box. Same. Been there, done that. Yeah, because then we can zero index it from 4. But that means like if 5 is the max rank, then technically 4 is the max rank. Which means that we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as our spans. So that's 5 spans. So we would still divide it into like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which could mean 0 to 0.2, 0.2 to 0.4, and so on until 0.8 to 1. Now that would be the starting point. So var start equals that, and that would be okay. Yeah, are you doing job or are you full-time? That's actually confidential. I would answer, but I'm afraid they would come after me if I did, so who? Illuminati? I'm afraid I can't answer. I can't answer that. Okay. Wait. So if the max rank is 5, there we go. Okay, that should be better. So Now we should be able to have ranks for them. We just need to hook it up to the actual rendering, and we can see if we can have different ranks for the different gumballs. So gumball object, public gumball effect icon here, public text mesh pro rank. Rank dot text equals gumball dot ability dot rank. I should just do private. There. Because yeah, basically what I did was I implemented a store, so you can actually buy gumballs now, and I did record a video of that yesterday. Kind of a shitty video, but I just did it hastily. Okay, let's give this a whirl, I guess. I think we're all generating... Oh yeah, it seems like the price is obscure. But they do have different ranks. There we go. Let's check it out. Gumble gob. Gumble gob. Gooble gob. Gobble gooby. Today's food is gonna be pierogies. No pea included. I'm making them myself. Oh, look, they won. They're dancing. What's this game about? So basically, the game is called Slorb Weeble Gumble, and it's all about enslaving the race of the Slorbs. And then, I mean, it's essentially, you know, it's a game all about genociding the Slorbs. Through violent means, of course. You can get like fully automatic AK-47s, you know, and you can just sort of shoot them up, you know, shoot up the Slorbs. Sort of wholesome, sort of cutesy. Yeah. Any boss fights? Yeah. You fight the ultimate Slorb. But I think the most iconic part of this game is the one where you go into the Slorb kindergarten. And I mean, you know, I don't want to go into details, but it gets quite gruesome. Yeah. You know? It's kind of... That's sort of what we do here, you know? We make fun games. And of course the Slorbs don't understand what's going on because, you know, they're just Slorbs. They can barely speak. Yeah, it's gonna release on the Nintendo Switch. We got a collaboration going on with Super Mario. Mario will join you on the kindergarten mission. You see, they're so happy, so it's gonna be really sad when you have to bring out the AK-47s and, yeah, you know. I don't want to get into the details, but... Look, so now you have these different ranked Gumble Gobs. So the 5, 3... seems like the pricing is not really tied to it. The pricing is sort of random. Anyway, we bought a bunch of Gumble Gobs there, and they should show up in our inventory now when we try to teach them to our Slorbs here. Yeah, as you can see them here. Woke, Brasig, Fleem, Quim. I think Woke is weak. Poke is also weak. Donk is strong. Fume, Woot. Woot, I think, is weak also. Woot of Agwib and Shuvuk. Yeah, I guess it makes sense it would be weak, because it's, the rankings would tell you the strength. But yeah, Nintendo contacted me after they heard about the kindergarten mission. They called me up actually and said we want to get in on this because we feel like Mario's lost his edge, and we feel like maybe if we can have him go into the Slorb kindergarten with the AK, maybe then we'll get back some of that old school Mario rep we used to have back when he was still stomping on Goombas. You know? So that's sort of where the game's at right now. I made significant update on Brosify. I mean, I added story and also some more features. Story? God, I gotta check this out. Oh shit, it's stuck in the login. It's an endless loop. Brosify! Stop! Bad! Get down, boy! Stop! Stop, I can't do Stop! Brosify! Sit down, sit! Sit! Ah, shit, man, it's an endless refresh. Sit down! Stop refreshing! Stop! It's not listening! It's not listening! What do I do? It's not working. It's broken. I can't Brosify anymore. Where am I gonna post all my stuff? Ah, look, they're dancing. I should teach them some slorb techniques. Wait. I'm gonna just turn off the music so I can teach them. Woke brasig fleem quim. That's a pass. That's a pass. Donk shuvuk fium. Shit, it didn't pass. Donk shuvuk fium. That's a pass. That's a pass. Grub azum bublem. That's a pass. Whom aguib fium. That's a pass. That's a pass. Okay. Okay, guys. You're gonna battle to the death now. So let me just find the right slur battle manager. Guys, play nice, play nice. Whoa, 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 chill out. This is epic, you guys. But your attacks aren't doing shit, guys. Not even... Oh my god. It's not hitting anything, guys. You suck. This is ass, you guys. Whoa. Ah, you hurt him a little bit. You got some slime on him. Look, guys. I'll change your attack. Oh, it says got speaking in a foreign language. Wait. Grub azum bublem. There we go. Okay. That's kind of racist, though. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Donk Bangle Shroom! Here we go. Impressive. Hello, Austin. What's up? Oh my god. When he casts the... Okay, let's see here. I need to see the attack. Because it seems like the... Whoa. If it doesn't have a radius, it seems like it doesn't apply. Radius is 6. Oh shit, it's huge. But that's a projectile. But it didn't hurt him. I guess the problem is that it hits the ground. That's the one, Donk Bangle Shroom. But it just destroys itself instantly. Ah. Distance, radius. I mean, it has insane radius. It's far too high radius. Now the effect is damage. But type is healing. So it doesn't do any damage. Is that the reason why it doesn't do damage? No, we're not even using the effect types. Okay. Kind of weird. Yeah, I think we need to, what is it? The effect runner, right? Trigger effect, which happens from the delivery runner. On trigger. When does it end up getting disabled? Trigger disable. Interesting. Why is it not triggering? So we trigger the effect. Where's the music? I had to pause it for the recording, but I'll bring it back. Because my microphone is using my stream input audio. That seems to be the microphone it catches. So it ends up recording the music with my voice when I'm teaching my Slorbs tricks. I need to add like a microphone selection menu. Go XLR? What is Go XLR? What the fuck is this? I'm using a Stream Deck. Yeah, it's because the projectile is too large. It just hits the ground immediately. We need to limit the radius. Let's see here. Because we need it to collide with like walls and stuff. It just shouldn't be so big that it collides with the frickin' ground. Unless we don't care that it collides with the terrain. But... because, I mean, if the arena is this, right? If this is the arena... we only care that it collides with the walls or an object. So if we put the terrain on a specific layer... you know? We put this on the terrain layer or something. And we just ignore collisions. Let's do that. I think that's the move. Why is it user layer 3 is empty? I need to see. Why layer 3 empty Unity? Hey, Blue Wolf, welcome. So this is terrain. And edit part settings. Terrain, and then we need to have like, I guess, attacks or like delivery, which should not collide with terrain, but collide with everything else. And then we can just go here. If this is terrain, and then deliveries. And we can say for all of these, they are the delivery layer. Why is there a chair in the screen? No reason. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Yeah, what's up, mate? By the way, guys, I think I need to have lunch. I'm really hungry. Shortest stream? I'm not, the stream is not done. I'm just gonna go have some lunch. The stream is not done. What the flip? I'm gonna go have lunch. I'll be right back. I just need to figure out what to eat. Probably noodles or something. Something quick. I don't have much produce since I was in the UK. So yeah, be right back. Ah, I'm back. Thank you all for being here. So, ranking system works, sort of, kind of. We just need to, like, to me it's strange that the, but I mean, here we only disable for projectiles. I think it's the generator. Yeah, like here, AoE is always min value 3. I think this should be like 5, and then max value equals min value plus 2 or something. 4. Anyway, I had noodles and 2 eggs for lunch. Topped off with a little bit of Laugan Ma chili oil. The famous Laugan Ma chili oil. Wait, what the fuck? The input is broken. I can't walk. You fixed it? Brosify? Oh, hell yeah. 6-7. That deserves a like. It's Dr. Phil as a green M&M. That deserves a like. Bem. That deserves a like. I posted this one. I love this. This is such a great website. Yeah. I'm not following anyone. I can add a story though. The guy from yesterday? Wait, but this is a story, but is it uploaded as a post? Oh. Oh, okay, I get it. Well, that's fine. That's awesome, dude. I absolutely love Brosify. And this stream is sponsored by Brosify. Brosify got me feeling some type of way. Humane UI. The way I see it, Brosify is a full-fledged working social media platform. And Humane UI, well, it's an early alpha. Maybe even in development. Brosify is miles ahead of wherever Humane UI is. I open up Brosify, I get shivers, goosebumps. Such a good UI, good everything. It's finished? Let me see here. Humane UI. This you, Gordon Ching? Is this Humane UI? Gordon Ching. Humane UI. Interesting. Gordon Ching. CEO. Hey. Let's just try it out, see what happens. Today's stream is sponsored by Robber Island. The room is bigger on the inside. Book your tickets to Robber Island today. I may. Thank you. I love when the like when you can't walk or do anything. You know, this is why I love the input system. I'll just restart Unity. I'm sure that's gonna fix everything. They should make humane input. Yeah, the guy is not moving. I don't. Did I change something? I don't get it. I can't walk. Okay, I mean, it's running there. Maybe the grounded thing is not. Oh, it's saying I'm not grounded. Oh. Oh, yeah, because okay. I know the issue. It's the grounded recast. I figured it out, everybody. I'm a genius. Call me Einstein. Because I just figured out that my player was not grounded. Now that is what I call grounded. Okay. Let's see here. Does it have any... Woke shuvuk shwoom. Donkagweev shwoom. That's a pass. Okay, let's get some more gumballs. For our little fellas. We don't need to go full screen just yet. I think there's 50 and... Fume. There we go. Stifty crew shroom. Fail. Stifty crew shroom. Fail. Stifty crew shroom. That's a pass. Woot bangle fume. Okay, there we go. Time for you guys to fight to the death. They're not hitting each other. I have it. It's delivery, right? Edit party settings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see like that one there. It's not colliding, but they are on different teams, right? Okay. Don't know why it's not like working anymore. Like as far as the attacks go, they're not triggering. Because I mean, it is like on trigger enter. But we would be able to see if it's disabled. It's not disabled. So it should be. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, it is reaching. Has one. That's the thing. Has one stays true. So they're not damaging at all. That's the problem. Now they should damage. There we go. Yeah, the problem with the projectiles it seems it doesn't update the actual radius of the particle system, but I guess we can fix that. So that would be the Oh, right, that's not here, it's in the renderer. Yeah, the problem there is it doesn't really I think for the bullets, pre-warm is probably quite necessary. Although think when it gets triggered, I wonder if it gets disabled, should it just instantly disappear, or should it just... I think there should be pre-warming on the projectiles. I don't think they Right, clear and then simulate. Okay. I want to start playing World of Warcraft again, but I don't know, man. Hard to justify it. I need a shroom. There we go. Groob crew shroom. Groob crew shroom. That's a fail. Groob crew shroom. Poke assume quim. Poke azum quim. Stifty azum fleam. Okay. Let's go into battle. See, that's the one. He uses the shroom, but it hasn't, like... It hasn't run the full simulation, so you don't get the full particle effects, do you? Yeah, the rate over time is 0. Yeah, because I mean, it should have a radius. But maybe it doesn't have radius, that's the thing. It does seem to have a radius. But still, it has rate over time as 0. That's the only place where you change it. There it's 50. There it's 50. We just do this debug.log, delivery type, and base rate. I mean, there it's 50. Hmm. Mm-hmm. But the storage radius, I guess, maybe is never updated then. Yeah, that's the thing. If it doesn't have speed, then the radius is radius. That's only true for AoE. Else, if lunch was good, I had some noodles and egg. I think we need to limit the radius. A skadoosh. Do I have any shroom? No, no shroom. There's a shroom. Oh, fleam. Too much fleam. Woke bangle shroom. Whom azum fium. Whom azum fium. Whom azum fium. Whom azum fium. God damn it. Whom azum fium. Whom azum fium. God damn it. I don't think I can teach this one. I need to change the way that the back end works. Stifti azum fleam. Stifti azum fleam. Fail. Stifti azum fleam. There we go. That's the one. Woke aguib fleam. Oh yeah. And the last one. Wake bangle fleam. That's the one. Okay, guys. Time to fight to the death. Yeah, I don't know what would happen if I lived at home. I think people would probably go quite crazy.
Woke aguib fleam.
I don't think this guy has any attacks. Oh. Quake bangle fleam.
Woke aguib fleam.
Rats made you crazy?
Woke aguib fleam.
I think he's I think he's broken.
Woke aguib fleam.
Because he tried to use his Gumble, but maybe now he works because he got attacked.
Woke aguib fleam.
No, I think he's just brain broken. God damn it. I need to stop it from using unassigned. Stifty bangle shwoom. Stifty bangle shwoom. Woot agweeb quim. Well, I think because it passes, but then it doesn't. Wait, the active slorb is not set. Okay. Woot agweeb quim. Okay, that worked. Woot agweeb quim. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, guys, fight to the death.
Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room.
Okay.
Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room.
Oh yeah.
Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn. 50 Bangles Room. Quote Edwin Quinn.
I feel like maybe I should just have like parameters for, because I have like how often they can attack and stuff. So like the cooldown and the minimum distance and all that. I think I will set that to be a scriptable object. Battle params. Okay, and then okay. Any other magic values? I don't think so. And then we'll do the same in the... This is the ability runner. So initial delay, but then there's the... Right, interval. Okay, well then I think it's fine. Ah, shit. There we go. That's the battle params. Okay. But I think with that, we can at least say that the Gumball ranking system is essentially implemented. But we need to have the... because we can do params now, so we just need to do these proper battles. But we also need... I guess that is technically pre-made orb sounds for Gumballs. So like when they cast Gumballs, I guess they should be using like you would splice together audio or alternatively play in sequence audio files. So I mean, if you have you know, Lorb, like spell Lorb, Weeble, Gumball, split 2 words, Lorb. Right? And then index pre-spoken audio clips via words. Like you do something like that. Like, but that, you know, the only negative thing is you'd have to, I mean, I could have a text-to-speech backend that does it automatically, but then I would still, I think I would be best off just sourcing them myself, you know, just recording a bunch of these words. It's a bit of just manual work, but you know, it doesn't have to be so bad. Never back down. I think this probably fine. This is for the opponent slorbs, you know, the ones, but it could also work in the event that people don't want to use their own voice to teach the slorbs. You know, they would just use this default slorb voice clips. Because then you could also, I mean, you could technically do like pitch per word as well in this layout, so that affords us some more dynamic. Because I don't think there's no point in like doing any sort of splicing of the clips. It would just maintain some dictionary. I think this is probably the next important thing, because I, you know, if we're doing random battles, I don't have to teach the other slorbs all the time, so this is probably what we need to do. Song name? Let's see. It doesn't say. It's at 2:15. Oh, let's see here. Someone did it. It's is it actually Gerudo Valley? It does not sound like Gerudo Valley. Hold up. Oh, it literally is. I forgot that was the sound of it. I didn't remember it was so Spanish. I mean, I played this game multiple times, so... Classic. Yeah, we're gonna have this song playing in the kindergarten scene. When Mario pulls up with the AK. Okay, so we have the language here. Yeah, that's the thing. The list translations has to be a list of not just translations, but a list of translations and their words. So it's going to be a public struct. Like a translation is a word linking to a list of what would it be called? String table? That tells me nothing. It's basically it's linking to it has a list of string and a string and an audio file paired up. No. This is the fake language. So this is gonna all disappear. I'm gonna lose out on all of my translations. But don't worry, I still have everything in my dictionary right here. Oh, I need to make it serializable. Yeah, okay, still has the elements. Group donk stonk stifty. But then I just need to hook up the audio files basically, and then we can just pull it. I think fium makes more sense instead of having it shwoom fium. Because that's closer to quim. Booblem. Because then, yeah, I have to record every single individual one, link it up, and then I can essentially procedurally generate the spoken spells for AI slorbs. You know what editor tool I should make? One that lets me record in the editor and not have to open Audacity, because then I could just click one of these structs, record my voice, and just have it instantly as a clip saved in the project. That would be so based. Don't you agree? Daddy Frosty, aka Toolmaster. Could be quite doable. I did voice chat with a Steam API, just do something. Well, that I'm talking about like the editor tool. So for all these words, what I have to do, if I'm not, you know, the traditional way to do this was I open up Audacity, record a clip, name it, save it, store it in the project folder, and then drag and drop the reference. I could make it so it's just an editor tool in here, just built in as a custom inspector, and I just click like a record button here, and I could just in the editor, I'm like, shwoom, you know, and I'm just click, boom, and now I have the translation or whatever for that word just recorded in editor. Not really, because I'm already doing that, like with the speech. Oops. I'm already storing the MP3 files, so I have the Wave Writer here. And basically, I mean, when I save a clip, I make the recording here, and the recording is just using the audio recorder, which is a built-in Unity feature, and that's it. I mean, so like the recording is not necessarily the difficult part. It's just setting it up so I can have it like an easy. That's what I'm thinking. I could probably do it in a very short amount of time, and then the benefit of this is I can have then a huge dictionary, lots and lots of words, and just as I'm typing in the strings here, it's about as easy to record a new word. So I could have, like, you know, click and hold, and while I'm holding down, it's recording, and then when I let go, it stops the recording. So that I could just, like, as easy as it is to type in a string in these fields, it is to record the spoken piece. Because otherwise, it's, I mean, it's like the more friction you have with adding things, the less likely you are to add things. So if I make it just as natural to type in this as it is to speak it, then it's like nothing stopping me from having like hundreds of different words in the game. Well, I've done custom editors. I've done it before. So I don't think it should be too difficult. I just probably won't do it on stream. Yeah, it's I think the other thing I'm thinking is that I could have word variations, right? So I could have, like, for the same word, I could record multiple takes, essentially. And I think that is probably where there's a lot of value. Because otherwise, I mean, the same spell spoken by the slorb is going to sound the same, you know, just with the pitch variety. But if I have multiple takes, doesn't that help with training as well? You mean as, like, reference clips, or in what context? Because the spoken audio, or you mean like for reference, for like hearing how it's supposed to sound, or? No, yeah, no. So the audio clip is for the opponent slorbs, because you're facing off with AI slorbs, right? And they have to speak their spells somehow. And, like, I could do a text-to-speech model, but that is so lame, it's gonna sound so bad. So my thinking goes, I'll just record my own voice as, like, the translation of these words, which is gonna be what's spoken by the opponent slorbs. Alternatively, if you don't have a microphone, or you don't want to use your microphone for this game, you can opt to play like a mini game when you're teaching your slorb spell, and it will just use my voice. And it will work like this, right? So you have a spell, Slorb Gleeble Gumble. Like, let's say that's the spell. First we do split into words, so we just tokenize it, and we have Slorb Gleeble Gumble. And then we index into an array of pre-spoken audio clips via the words. So this language dictionary essentially has a word projectile. So for example, projectile translates to shroom, which sounds like the referenced audio clip. And that's just what the slorb would speak then. So when the slorb is casting a spell, we just iterate through these words. We play the sound that the word makes, and we wait until the word has been spoken. And then we just do that, because that will, you know, it will play slorb, bleeble, gumble. It just plays the sounds. And then if I have like a bunch of different audio clips for shwoom, I could have shwoom, 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 shwoom. So then that adds like a lot of variety to the way that they say their spells. How would you do it for non-mic users? Like a puzzle game of connecting the words in the correct order, or like researching? I think my thinking goes sort of like a quick time event-ish thing. I haven't quite considered exactly how, but I don't want it to just be a loading bar. I think I want there to be, because the element of like the slorb failing to understand or succeeding in understanding your spell is like part of their personality quirks, you know? Like, I don't want it to just be like, click, loading bar goes up and they understand. Or like, click, loading bar goes up and there's a random chance you fail. Like, that's kind of boring too. So like a small quick time event that, you know, if you're not careful, you might fail. But in general, should be quite easy. Yeah, just clown emoji. That's called the juicing the game. You just show clown emojis. And play the Vine Boom sound. But yeah, I think if I have the editor tool for this language, then I can just record a bunch of audio clips in editor. Just wham, bam, bam, bam. I could easily just knock out like 6 varieties per words. So like words flashing for 200 milliseconds each 3 times. And you have to choose the right sequence. Maybe something like that, yeah. I think tying it to the words is definitely important. I could even use the raw recordings of the words to have it be like spoken. You know? So like a boom, fleam, boom, you know? But then maybe if you click the wrong one, it just says a random word that's wrong. And then the slorber's like, huh? Huh? Question mark above the head. When are we making Humane Editor? Oh, there's the Humane Editor. And then there's going to be Unity3D, which is the Unity replacement. Which also happens to be compatible with Humane UI. There has to be like a good reason that they're still using like outdated C#, right? There has to be. Okay. I think I will just add that to the list of... They forked the runtime, messed it up, and now can't update it without everything going... Yeah. But I mean... I feel like even a fork... Like... I feel like when you're forking, you have to fork in a way that allows the updates made to the original to move downstream into your fork. Like that. Otherwise, I mean, you're not even, you know, when it doesn't feel like it's in the spirit of a fork to completely abandon everything that the previous thing is. Like that's just copy paste, start from scratch essentially. But I guess that's the easier way to do it. Like, I don't know, I haven't committed open source, but in my mind, when I think of fork, I think it's the same as the original, but it's like adding to it, but it still pulls from the original whenever the original gets updated. So it's like changed in a non-destructive way, but I guess maybe that's just not how people would approach it. But because that, to me, it's like, that's what a fork should be. But maybe that's just too optimistic. Can still pull changes, yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think I have to end the stream because I need to leave. But I will probably try to fix this editor tool later tonight or something. But I think this is promising. Definitely promising. I feel like definitely this area here needs a little bit more stuff going on. I don't know what this shit is. This makes me very confused. But yeah. It's something with the splat map. It's like when I paint textures, it just sort of... Okay, well, there it works, so I don't know. It was sort of like... In some parts, it just used to break. Like here, it's also... Okay, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Anyway. Thank you all for stream. But this is actually not Unity's terrain system. I'm using Jason Booth's micro splat, so that's why it's a little bit janky. I'm using procedural texturing. But yeah, anyway, see you all. Have a good time, and bye-bye.